So this is really old news. I'm playing a game that's probably over a year old now. I initially mentioned a long time ago on my channel that I will be covering this game, but I didn't have, I guess, the financial means to buy the game when it came out, and I really wanted to, and I kind of regret not covering it when it first came out. But I still want to cover the game and still want to talk about it. As you all know, I'm not going to do an actual review of the game. I will, explain what my first impressions and first thoughts of the game are. I feel like the game is very closely in resemblance to Shadow of Mordor. There's just a lot more places to go. The one thing that I really truly wish they would improve on is the concept of you traveling into more places in that whole entire expansive map, not just this one particular landscape where you're supposed to do stuff, but more freedom to travel all over. I feel like it was kind of almost advertised as an open world map, but I guess maybe that would have been too big for, all intents and purposes, loading and frame rate and all that other stuff that people don't seem to know how to put into play, because it's kind of like, if you had all the maps combined into one giant map and you just travel across that map, that would be a little bit ridiculous. But it would be kind of interesting to find maybe some kind of, where you go between one map and another map, like a traveling point, where you can still slay orcs and, maybe get a captain or two that's out in the outskirts of a particular area. And maybe you can find like a refuge of, Gondorians or something and interact with them, kind of like, add a little bit more exploration to the map, which, obviously there was not that much exploration in Shadow of Mordor, but it would be kind of interesting for them to do so, especially the route that they went. I like the different locations, the different tribes of orcs, and obviously there's orcs, uruks, and then there's olegs, or olagai, or whatever the hell they're called. Like, they're the big orcs, I guess. That's the best way I can describe them. I like the aspect of you building an army and taking a fort and, kind of working. There's so much inner workings. Some orcs can betray you, some can be extremely loyal, some can be really, really dumb. There's a lot to the game. Like, I just recently started doing the online vendettas. I haven't done an online conquest yet. I've been trying to settle down and kind of getting to know the maps and getting to know the game mechanics in general, because there's so much, and there's like an overwhelming bombardment of things you have to know. And for the most part, it's kind of like I got used to it very quickly. It was very familiar to me. So, if you play Shadow of Mordor, you're very familiar with Shadow of War. It has very similar mechanics. I feel like they have been polished ever so slightly. I feel like there's a lot less emphasis on lobbing heads in this one. It's almost like you have to do a particular style of execution to get, decapitate somebody. But now you can decapitate orcs in half and, cut off limbs and mangle them. And some of them might cheat death and come back and they look really fucked up and mangled, like their face is covered. You can't now see their face anymore. You can shame them and make them deranged or maniacs. And there's so much to this game that it gets a little overwhelming, and I haven't really experienced everything. And their claim was, everybody writes their own story. Yeah, I just kind of wanted to play through the main story, do a couple side quests, and then just go on rampages and just start killing orcs and see, how high I can get my chain up, or, just in general have fun and see if I can, do something such as going into a fort, knowing that there might be a captain or two that might, come up in a fight, and a bunch of orcs, and then I have to fight my way through 20-30 orcs and manage to do so, and to a point where there's slim to none in that area left, because I just went and killed a bunch of them, and that aspect of this game I really do enjoy. And I wanted to make a video talking about this, because this is a lot of people don't realize, everybody has their, I guess, things that they like. Some people are really into Star Wars. Some people are really into Harry Potter, and some other people are into anime. I'm into Lord of the Rings. I initially never really liked Lord of the Rings when I was younger. I actually kind of thought of it as dwarves, hobbits. What the fuck are we in a fantasy? Or what are we reading? Fucking German folklore or some shit? What is this shit? or European folklore, you know, like kind of like Red Riding Hood and shit, you know, and Rapunzel and all those like fucking little fairy tale stories that, you know, I was told when I was a kid, just because, you know, parents, you know, different generation, I guess, because I'm, you know, I guess I would say in my early 30s. So I'm not going to disclose my age because I don't want people to actually find out who I am, because I secretly work for the government. You know, put on your tinfoil hats. I'm kidding, I don't. But yeah, but just in general, this game is just like fantastic. You know, I mean, obviously there was a little bit of controversy, and that's kind of what kind of threw me off at like to buy it. I was like, oh, loot crates or loot boxes. You know, and then, you know, kind of like, you know, if you had the money to spend, you buy like stuff, and, you know, you can make your base impenetrable or whatever. And like, if I don't have that money, I'm gonna lose out. And so I thought it was gonna be like pay to win, and I was like, why? You know, I had such high hopes, but it's not like that. Like, I'll do an online vendetta, and you get like some kind of chest, and you get a couple things that you can use. And then you can take that stuff and just kind of recycle through it. Like, if you don't need it, or like, I actually gained stuff that's higher level doing online vendettas now. So I'm like, all my stuff is over level 40 while I'm only level 41. My highest, I think, level of equipment is like 46 or 47. So I'm like, that's impressive. So I mean, you know, and getting to that point where, you know, you have higher level gear than your actual level is what I was trying to accomplish for the longest fucking time in this game, but I wasn't able to do so, and I was wondering, why the hell can I get gear that's much higher than what my level is? And then I realized, well, if I do like an online conquest or online vendetta, I can do so. So, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty neat. I will probably, you know, maybe sometime next week I'll upload, you know, like an online conquest, which I'll probably end up failing because I'm not exactly good at doing fort raids, or say I'm stuttering, but basically, the way that I always came across or came around to, you know, conquering a fort in the game for single player, just me playing against, you know, the computer, I guess, was, you know, I do the whole thing. I try to conquer, you know, all in all of captains, maybe one or two that I don't like, I will kill. Like a lower level, I will kill, because I just didn't care. I wanted higher level orcs in my army. I have very high standards. I guess I'm kind of an asshole maybe for that. I don't know, but you know, and then I don't even really bother in trying to capture the war chiefs, because at that time I didn't have enough, you know, ability to even you know, dominate you know, a war chief orc, because unfortunately they were too high of a level to be, you know, to dominate. So I was like, what the fuck now? If I was to go back, rewind, but have the same gear, I'd be able to do that and actually do the war chiefs. But now, like, okay, whatever. But now I actually, you know, what's really awesome is, you know, I would take, and I would basically, all the followers of a particular war chief, I would dominate them, and I would send them out, you know, blah blah blah, and then I would do the whole betrayal of the war chief thing. And then, you know, I had one of the forts, I had two betrayals. One was to seek out an orc, like to find him, and another one was to kind of have him come out of his hiding or whatever the fuck. And surprisingly enough, you know, it all was very successful. Once the war chiefs are down, conquering that base when the level of the base is 80, and then if you get, you know, if you upgrade your siege abilities, you know, if I'm, you know, 180 of a level and they're only 80, I'm gonna win that siege regardless. So that's how I would conquer forts. I would take my time. And I would collect stuff and this and that, and, you know, cool, fun stuff. But the gameplay in the background is just random Shadow of War gameplay. It's not anything too, like, specific, just random gameplay. This video is more so of, like, my commentary. Overall, I like the game. I wish there was more to it. I feel like right now, getting to where I am right now, I feel like this game is actually quite short. Initially I thought it was going to be extremely grueling, long, and kind of almost like it would burn me out, but it's very short, you know, and I was hoping that there would be a lot more. There are expansion packs that I might consider getting, but that's, you know, a consideration. I don't know if I'm going to be uploading that or not, so maybe not. But anywho, I do like the game. I might upload another couple of videos about Shadow of War. I want to keep calling it Mordor, but anywho, big Lord of the Rings fan. definitely enjoy my video. If you did, definitely hit that like button, leave me a comment, let me know what you think. Subscribe, hit that bell, and I am the Mitten. That's all I can say. Peace. That's the video. Yeah, video.
Lovely move that. I should learn. Unleash the beasts of more. Like the others. You are mine. Join my army. I serve you, bright lord. Yes, master.
Urbano.